All right.
All right.
So after
So
a lot
after
of testing,
a lot of testing,
it comes down to
it comes
having to
down
drop.
to having to drop.
Oh man,
Oh man,
jeez.
jeez.
Yeah, after a lot of testing, it
Yeah,
comes
after a
down
lot
to
of
having
testing,
to
it comes
drop
down to having to
the
drop the
how to say boy
how to say why
the
the
the resolution
the
and bitrate all
resolution
the
and
way down to
bitrate
the
all the
lowest, which
way
is
down
at
to the lowest, which is at
360. For
360,
it to be able
for
to
it to be
run
able to
somewhat
run somewhat
decently, right?
decently,
And minimize the
right?
stuttering
And
and this kind
minimize
of
the
thing. That if it is
stuttering
a
and
doing
that
a
kind of thing. That's if
multi-stream,
it is a doing a
right?
multi-stream,
Um,
right? Um,
because Twitch not looking as bad as
because Twitch
before.
not looking
I
as
mean,
bad
there's
as
a
before.
significant
I
delay,
mean, there's a significant delay,
right?
right?
Um,
Um,
and that's okay for now,
and that's okay
right?
for now,
Because
right?
it's an
Because
internet thing,
it's an internet thing,
right? It's
right?
an internet thing.
It's
Definitely
an
it's an
internet
internet
thing.
thing.
Definitely it's an internet thing.
Um,
Um,
let me pick my word.
Martial law.
Pick my word. Right? Because I
right?
forget to
Because I could get to
operate and move fast and move
operate and
quick
move
and see
fast and move quick and see
just how
just how
good or bad this possibly
good or bad this
goes.
possibly
Right?
goes,
Get
right?
ready for the
So
next battle.
audio quality
So
is
audio quality
pretty
is
good. It's been good.
pretty good. It's been good.
This is still
This is
outputting to
still
Twitch at
outputting to Twitch at
480
480
live stream.
live stream,
Right?
right? So
So
that's
that's
not
not
too
too
bad,
bad.
right?
Right? Um,
Um,
so
so
it's not too bad.
it's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
Not
Significant
too
delay,
bad.
but it's
Significant
not
delay, but
that
it's
bad.
not that bad.
Yeah,
Oops.
let's try this again.
Let's try this again.
Definitely can't watch the
You
stream.
can't watch the stream,
Quality of the stream
quality
though
of the stream
on
though,
Twitch.
on Twitch.
Um,
Um,
right now it's set to
right
auto
now it's
on the
set to
laptop.
auto on the laptop.
So if I put
So if I
720
put
as the source,
720 as the source,
right,
right,
it's going to try to
it's going
buffer
to try to
as much as
buffer
possible,
as much as
right? So,
possible. Right,
right,
so, right.
the video is buffering. Is
The
video
video is
buffering?
buffering. Is video buffering?
Using low latency
Using
toggle
low
under the
latency
advanced
toggle under
setting
the advanced
to
setting
disable
to disable
low latency mode,
low latency mode.
right?
Right.
So I have to keep off
So I have to
low
take
latency
off
mode.
low latency mode.
Alright,
Alright.
so it's
So
showing
it's
a
showing
bit better,
a bit better.
but that's Twitch.
But that's
I'm
Twitch.
so scared
So
for what
scared for what
YouTube would be looking like.
looking like.
I also
I
have
also have
I also have
I
it
also
on
have it on
quality.
quality.
It's set to auto as well, but if I was to put this to 720, it's going to look better, right? But
right?
that's the
But that's the
overall
overall
aesthetic, the
aesthetic,
actual
actual
gameplay section
gameplay section
that you're looking
that
at.
you're
If
looking
there's somebody who's looking at it
looking at it
on YouTube,
on
is
YouTube
still it's still wrong.
is still wrong.
It's still wrong.
It's still wrong.
Right?
Right?
Still wrong.
It's still wrong.
But
But it's
not as terrible
not
as
as
it was
terrible
before.
as
No.
before. No.
The thing is, if it is I
The
want
thing
you
is,
to
if
do
it
this
is I want you to do
multi-stream
this multi-stream
with an online game like Destiny,
Destiny,
like I have this.
Destiny, like I have
You don't do this
I
online
want to do this online
with an online game like
with an online game
like Help Me Apex
Help Me
or
Apex
multiverses. That would be problematic. No question of that.
questions asked.
I mean, I would test it and that's over here, right? So.
So
It's not that
it's
bad.
not
So
that
overall,
bad.
like
So
everything
overall, like
around
everything
on YouTube
around
looks
on
pretty good,
pretty good,
pretty neat.
pretty neat.
All the follower goals, all the latest
goals,
followers, all these
latest
different kind of
followers,
things,
all
but the
these different kind of
actual
things, but the
quality
actual
of the
quality
gameplay
of the
itself
gameplay
is
itself
rough,
is
right?
rough,
And massively
right?
delayed,
And massively
like
delayed,
massively delayed,
massively
right?
delayed,
So,
right? So,
and that's because of
and that's because of
it's
that's
outputting.
because it's
So,
outputting.
so here on the Xbox,
here
some
on the
console
Xbox,
streaming,
some console
right?
streaming,
To some key
right?
pointers,
To some key pointers,
right? If you're
right?
going to be streaming
If
to
you're
one
going to be streaming to
destination,
one destination,
right? And
right?
the
And
internet is good,
the internet is good,
but your upload
but
is
your
not the
upload
best,
is not the best,
then you're going to have the
then
problems
you're
that I'm
gonna have
having,
problems that
right?
I'm having, right?
So, for
So,
instance,
for instance,
let's see,
um,
on the Xbox,
on the
I
Xbox,
have it
I have
outputting
it outputting
the actual what
the actual
I am
what
seeing on
I
my
am
television,
seeing my television,
right, which is
right?
720,
Which is 720,
right?
right?
That's actually
That's actually
1080.
1080.
That's actually what I'm actually putting out from the Xbox is at the lowest resolution and bitrate, which is 360 at 500,
500,
right?
right?
That's why it's somewhat
it's
functioning. It's
somewhat
not as
functioning,
jittery. It's not
jittery,
as
it's not as
hard on the eyes.
hard on the
If
eyes.
that makes sense. If that makes sense.
That
Right?
makes
If I put it on, so I'm on YouTube right now. I just put it on full screen, and the quality of the entire video is 720. Right? I put that the highest quality. This is at 720. The image is a bit fuzzy compared to all the niceness that you see going around, right? And that's because what I'm putting out is the gameplay itself is at the lowest resolution. That's because I'm trying to multi-stream and go to everywhere, right? So it's rough. It's not the worst. Because the worst is, I think anything lower than this would be worse, right? However, LightStream is still pushing out all the overlays and the quality of the actual finished product that you're seeing here is still putting it out at 480 because I lowered it, right? Now I think if I was to change this to 720, I would get some more stuttering, right? No, the stuttering would get really bad, right? So alright, that's a nice little wall carry. So as you can see, all this stuff in the corner, with the total damage output, max combo, all these things look really blurry on YouTube, right? Because the gameplay itself is being put up to 360, right? If I try for 480, I'll get a little more stuttering, right? But Twitch is still trying to output, just in general, at 720. That's because the settings for Twitch, talking and there's an added progress. The setting for Twitch is that I have it on is 720, right? So in Twitch it looks fine, right? It's doable on Twitch. I mean, when you put it on full screen, I'm getting the stuttering, but it's not it's a little better than, and that's probably why I gained some stuttering on Twitch. Some buffering. Because of the 720 output on it, right? So it's not a situation where the hardware itself, like the laptop or the Xbox, is under duress. Right? Like if I was using OBS or what have you. That's not the case at all. Right? So let's get to my thoughts on this, right? My thoughts on this. let's go back to LightStream.
Let's go back to LightStream.
Right, so I'm actually on the
LightStream
webpage, and I'm seeing what quality is being output here. Right? I'm seeing it.
Right?
It's
I'm seeing
the
it.
360, no questions asked.
360, no
Right?
questions asked. Right?
In terms of the resolution, the glass contrast between the laptop and the actual TV.
TV.
Night and day.
It's
Right?
night and day.
So,
Right?
my thoughts on it at
My
this point.
thoughts on it at this point.
Right? So let's get into a little
let's get into a little
let's get into a little switch this up for you all a bit. And but I put my stuff nice. Alright.
Alright.
Cool. So let me go ahead and give my thoughts on this feature for LightStream.
Right?
LightStream in general is 100% great and ideal for console streamers. Right? If you have some time, some creativity, right, to test and mess around and play with, great. That's gonna work out really good for console streamers. Right? And you can definitely invest instead of a capture card, which could get pretty pricey and hard, it could get pretty pricey. You can definitely 100% invest in a good webcam, right? I am actually currently using the webcam that is the integrated webcam for the laptop, right? Invest a couple of bucks in getting some overlays, stuff that look like this. I went over to Nerd or Die. I went over to what's this one that Harris always tells us about? Your one-stop shop for all your overlays, bells and whistles and what have you. Oh my days. Can't remember. I mean, if you were to Google it, overlays and stuff like that, you would find it, right? So let me talk on these things quickly. This is the free version for LightStream Studio. I would have used it recently. I didn't set up all the overlays and the chatting and all these different scenes per se. If you're familiar with I have the microphone.
So it's probably, oh my days, it's probably gonna sound really bad, like double. Anyways, let me lower the volume in my headset because I know it's a bit loud for me, having difficulty to hear over myself, right? Okay, so let's try this again. Let's get into it, right? This is the just chatting section, right? So as you could see, I am streaming from my console, right? Directly from my Xbox Series S. LightStream Studio, LightStream as a company on the whole has been a really amazing service. It's a web-based service, obviously, that allows you to take your direct stream from Twitch and gives you the full-on ability to add overlays and what have you via a web-based browser system, like your canvas and all these different stuff, just like what you would find in OBS to some degree, right? But it's catered for your console, right? So you don't need to go and download TikTok Live Studio, OBS, Streamlabs, OBS. You don't need to do that, right? It's not going to put additional strain on your actual hardware. You don't need a capture card. You don't need all the extra stuff. No, you don't. What you can, however, do is invest that money that you would be spending in all that expensive hardware in, if you want, the actual paid subscription service for LightStream, which is LightStream Studio Classic. You can do that, right? You have way more customizability with it. Can't really go wrong with that though, right? It's not too expensive. It allows you to output your stream at obviously a higher quality, right? Unlike what my stream currently looks like now, and we'll get into that, right? So as you can see on the side of me here, I would have taken some time to set up my overlays. This is LightStream Studio. As you can see the logo on the bottom here, right? This is one of the features that you have when you're using this free version, right? So LightStream Studio has a paid version and a free version. This is the free version that I'm using. So this is definitely for my console streamers, right, who want their streams to look a little more clean, a little more professional, have their brands, have their logos, stuff like that, right? This allows you to do this. I had to take a little bit of time and mess around with it because you only basically get 4 scenes. So if you want to have just starting or a starting screen, in game like what I had up previously, I'll be right back, or just chatting, then that's kind of basically all you need. It's very simplified, right? And you have the ability to place all these things, but you still have it limited in terms of what you could actually do, because if I have to switch scenes like how I set up the in-game and the just chatting, I have to actually take off what I'm on, right? So basically deselect it and then select the other one. And while you have keyboard shortcuts like command and whatever number it is between 1 to 4, you still have that gap, right? Because it has to load in basically, right? so that's that. But if you have some time and you have a little bit of effort, then it's going to look really good, right? This is just something that I whipped up. I still don't have all the stuff that says subscribe, follow, with all the different things. Right, but just with a little more tweaking, a little more editing, I mean, all these things could be placed there, right? The chat, if it is, I was actually have people in chat. So for example, let's see, this thing, if I was to type in, right, so there you go, this is where the chat would appear, right? So I would have set up all these things as well, right? So that's that. I got a little creative, because if I was to take off all the stuff that's on the side here, like not highlighted, you're going to see the gameplay over on that side, right? So I'm just using this to be a little creative, right? So you have also 4 options for how you want your orientation to look, right? So this orientation that I'm using for the just chatting scene is actually side by side, so gameplay and your camera, right? So I just got a little creative and decided to use half and half and cover up the game inside for the just chatting scene and what have you. You could do whatever it is you want, however it works for you. You just have to be a little creative, right? The only downside is I can't save this for this particular scene. So if I were to switch back to the in-game, it would look side by side and all the borders and everything would get messed up and skewed. So I would have to now go and hit my be right back screen that covers everything and then switch the cameras underneath before I go back. Alright, so you can see how that can get a bit tricky, right? But if you have to use this, or you choose to use this, you have the option of being as creative as I was, and this only took me just a couple of hours get everything set up, not just one scene, I mean like everything, right? Because I wanted it to look a certain way with all the alerts and all these different things and what have you, right? So that's what I did. To expound on that a little more, also, it's not as simple as it was with the LightStream Studio Classic, where you could go to Stream Elements and get the browser resources and just load them in. No, you have to use stuff that is affiliated with LightStream. So I think it's Xsola or something like that is the name. Fortunately, I would have made an account and linked my Twitch account and my YouTube account to one of the affiliates, which was rainmaker.gg, and that's how it is I was able to load in this stuff here. And if you were to follow this stuff on the instructions on the website, it would actually take you to there. You link your stuff and then you could go ahead and do that, right? Maybe in future we'd have the option to be integrated with Stream Elements, but you know, for now you have to use what you can, right? So that's that. So these are all the positive things and some of the very minor negative things that I would have to say about it, but for what it is, it's really good, right? Giving gamers and streamers, content creators, that opportunity to express themselves, be creative, and still go live directly from their consoles, and be able to still integrate and put all the bells and whistles. I mean, that's great. That's absolutely great, right? So it's not something that is or has a high learning curve like OBS or Streamlabs OBS, and I'll be fair to them with that, and that's really good. Again, if you want, you have the option to actually go to LightStream Studio, right? Go lightstream.com and you can do the actual classic, and you have way more customizability. So it basically is like a web-based OBS, so to speak, right? A few things that may limit you, but to be able to move your camera and put it around how you want and set up, and you know, you have integration with Stream Elements and other websites. That makes it really good, that makes it really easy, right? So bear that in mind, right? And if you're on the streaming journey, and you're a console streamer, and you get the followers, you get the subscribers, you're able to cash out, you're able to save a little money, does it compare to a capture card or like a streaming PC? Obviously not. But for what this is, in terms of this service and this aspect being free, it's really, really good. It's going to help a lot of people and it's going to reach a lot of people, right? So just bear that in mind. Now, moving on, let's get into the multi-streaming aspect of things, right? So this one is a bit tricky. So I am in Trinidad, right? And we have just a handful of service providers, and of course, yes, we have fiber optics and all these different things, right? In terms of being able to multi-stream, that's usually dependent on two things: the hardware and the internet providers that you have, right? Since we are not using anything that is resource heavy, so the laptop or your PC is not going to be under too much strain, right, with all the encoding and all these things, because this is the service that LightStream provides, right? The internet aspect, broadband aspect, is what does the heavy lifting, and if your internet is not tops, especially your upload speed, multi-streaming is going to be a pain in the ass. There's no getting away from that, right? This is why this video looks the way it looks, right? Because I actually had to set my Xbox on the lowest output quality, right, and bitrate, which is literally 360p, at 500, right? For both Twitch and YouTube to not look as stuttery or not look as bad as when it is I initially started and was testing, right? And everything was choppy, blocky, and it just was a mess, right? The audio quality is going to be fine. It's coming directly from your console. So this headset that I'm using is jacked directly into the Xbox controller. So this is what's being output, right? So the quality for your audio is always going to be fine. The quality for your video is definitely going to be dependent on the type of camera you're using, right? And I'm not using the camera directly into the Xbox. I was trying to figure out, and I will ask the LightStream Studio staff about it, because on their website you can legitimately just hit the chat button to the bottom right corner and you're going to be able to talk to somebody, right? But I will definitely ask them if when you plug in your camera directly into your console, your Xbox or your PlayStation, if there's any way to integrate that video image and have it like how it is you all see it here. When I was testing in the first couple of tests and I jacked the I jacked the the camera directly into the Xbox, I actually saw the little thing come up, just like if you're going to use it directly live, and it was separate to to the image that I had up as CNO, right? So it's right, I had to disable it from the stream itself, from the Xbox itself, sorry. Right? You do have the option of jacking your own camera, high-end camera if you will, as well, right? Your webcam as well, directly into your laptop or whatever you're streaming, whatever you're using for the browser, right? I think you're also able, if it is you were to do it with your mobile, you would be able to integrate the your mobile camera as well, right? Because if you do it from your mobile, you still have the ability to touch between your scenes and switch and what have you. So you don't necessarily need to have your laptop up. But in one of the tests that I was doing, I realized that if I close the browser, that obviously all this stuff disappear, not the overlays and what have you, just like the camera and stuff like that. So it is advisable that you have your laptop on standby or your mobile, right? Going forward. Excuse. Right. So yeah, back to the multi-streaming aspect of it. So the higher the quality and the resolution for your camera, you're going to have to definitely need some really good internet providers. Your internet really needs to be good, and I am wired, right? To be able to output the quality that you want, right? So yeah, because this camera that I'm using, this webcam that I'm using, this camera that I'm using right now is the built-in camera for the laptop, and I'm looking on YouTube and it's not looking bad at all right now, right? It's definitely not looking bad. There are some instances where when I turn, it looks, because it's trying to pick up and output it to how it should look and these kind of things, but this is fine. Right, this works, right? This definitely works for me right now. But with regards to multi-streaming, because I'm multi-streaming, I'm streaming to both Twitch and YouTube, right? And if I had the option to stream to TikTok, I probably would have taken it as well. But TikTok is not a part of the places that you could output your stream to right now anyways. When last I spoke to them, they said they're working on a couple of things and making some agreements, so maybe in time it will get here. As of now, any major streaming platform that you cannot find in a drop down, you have to use the actual RTT MP or whatever it is, right, to be able to stream to where it is you want it to go. But outside that, I'm only streaming to 2 platforms. It's always going to be, your Twitch always has to be enabled, because this is where the initial source comes from. Because if you're streaming from your console, that's where LightStream pulls the actual original stream from. Now for PlayStation it's a little different, because they actually can stream directly to YouTube, right? Xbox has not been integrated with YouTube. Don't know what they're waiting on. Not holding my breath, because the console wars, but that's a different kettle of fish. Regardless of what, it's a bit technical, right? That's the best way to put it. It's a bit technical in terms of explaining, being able to send you, for being able for LightStream to pull without Twitch, right? So it's not a situation where you can choose your platform that your other platforms that you want to send it to, and disable Twitch. No, Twitch is usually your first and the main one, and then you add the different stuff, the TikTok, the Instagram, the YouTube, what have you. Yeah. So multi-streaming can be a task, can be challenging. So for my Caribbean and West Indian gamers, streamers, content creators, it can be a bit challenging, right? So, and I know like I've been saying, I know my internet is good, right? It's not the greatest, it's very good, and just to stream to these 2 platforms is a struggle. And I actually had to set the Xbox output to the lowest quality to avoid all the stuttering and the dips and the right. So looking at this right now on YouTube, I'm seeing how the quality is right now not that bad, right? But if the gameplay was up, the gameplay quality would look rough, right? So key thing to remember though, for those now starting out, I know I'm now starting out as well on YouTube. I've kind of been doing this for a bit after I got to affiliate on Twitch. Audio quality is what matters more to people than the video quality, because most people are going to be looking at videos on the phones now, and they have the option to change the quality of the video from on their end. But if you can have your videos coming out at a higher quality and not looking like it's in the early 2000s, that's always going to be a plus. But people will rather look at something that sounds good and is not 100% highest resolution than look at something that's good and it sounds terrible. They're not going to stick around for that. Like, that's a scientific fact. But ideally at this point in time in the game, streaming, content creating, you want your quality to look as best as it can, right? You don't want to be glossed over because you didn't show up to the party in at least 480p, right? So I'm at 360p right now, and it's a bit of a task, but this is, I think if I'm doing a multi-stream, and this is my only option to get content on YouTube without having to download the Twitch VOD and then uploading it into YouTube, then okay, right? Multi-streaming is where it's at right now, if I'm being honest. It allows you the flexibility to be on and grow on different platforms at the same time without having to worry about, you know, what's happening with this, what's happening with that, stuff like that, right? So that's just me personally, that's just also common sense, right? It just makes sense that if you want to grow or become successful in a market or industry where the more eyes are on you, the better, then you have to put yourself out there in different places to have the eyes on you, that, you know, which makes sense. So LightStream Studio in general is actually an amazing service and feature especially for streamers that are now starting off, streamers that are now getting into understanding or trying to find a niche, for people who want to start getting into the creative aspect of it and getting into content creation, but are limited because of the lack of hardware, right? And we know why, because it's expensive. There are places where it's going to even be difficult to get the hardware into the country, right? There's not a Best Buy in Trinidad where you could just run down the street and grab a capture card, right? I actually had to get my capture card from New York, right? And my dad went to the Best Buy when he was over there, and it was the very, very last one, right? So, you know, in terms of the access for hardware, it could be challenging financially or actually just getting your hands on it. So it could be a challenge. But this service absolutely stands in the gap to allow people to be able to put out content and create content and get into streaming, which could open up a whole lot of possibilities, right? Whether it's to get sponsorship, whether it's to join a professional esport team, doesn't matter, right? Again, if you put yourself in places or expose yourself, you put yourself to be seen, then, you know, you will be seen, and the more places you put yourself is the better. So you're basically putting yourself in a place where you could have more eyes that are on you, right? So personally, this is just my takeaway. If you have the resources to do get the hardware and get into having a capture card, whether you're using a console or you have a PC and you have the capture card built into the PC and all these different things, go for it. There's a learning curve to it, but go for it. If you're doing it because you want to get into content creation, or you have a team and there's a technical side personnel that deals with this for you, go for it, right? But if not, you don't have access to all that, this service is amazing. I know Streamlabs would have had something similar to this, but Streamlabs doesn't have a free version, right? It's a paid subscription and they're a bit on the pricey side. One of the reasons for that is because they have like the marketplace where you could get overlays and all these different things right there built in basically. But LightStream, what LightStream is doing, right, is absolutely amazing. This free version is great for what it is, and after speaking to people from the team, they've actually said that they plan on just improving it to the point where even the free version would people would have a lot more customization, right? Access to it to be able to express themselves as they want. So, obviously, I'm of the belief that if it is they didn't have to charge people, that they wouldn't, and it would just be like a really dope free service. But I mean, to get this thing started and off the ground takes some time, takes some initiative, because I remember back in the earlys with this company, speaking to some of the heads, even all these things that they're doing now, they would have expressed that this is stuff that they would have wanted to do, and this was back in 2018, right? So it's a good step going forward. It's a great step going forward, actually, and it offers a whole ton of opportunities for people that might feel as though they're not able to do so, or they're gonna get lost in the sea of streamers. If you look at Twitch and in terms of the discoverability, because Twitch is a streaming platform, they're now integrating a lot more social elements, stories and stuff like that, to help with becoming a little more discoverable, right? Allowing you to edit your clips and post them directly to TikTok and stuff like that. So a lot of improvement is taking place in terms of the affordability and the availability for console streaming, right? As in streaming directly from your console, not just using a console to stream with OBS and stuff like that, like direct console streaming. A lot of improvements, a lot of good things taking place, and the future does look bright, right? So I'm expecting that there can be a lot more people from around the world, different places in the world. I'll go so far as to say remote places, right? Places that you're not going to expect. Obviously the Caribbean, obviously Africa, South Africa, obviously China and Japan, right? That we're going to be able to see more of these things. We know that it's there, but it's not as prevalent and promising as like in the US. And I know that the UK streaming scene is very, very much up there as well. So yeah, so that's LightStream Studio in a nutshell. So your takeaways are, if you're now starting streaming and want to get into streaming and you only have your console, you may have a webcam built directly into your laptop. You may have a webcam, a standalone webcam. You could jack that in, you could do that. You want your streams to look neat, presentable, you want to have a logo, you want to have borders and all these different things, bells and whistles, you want to have alerts, or these things are available to you. LightStream Studio, this free version, affords you that. It is limited in its capacity in terms of customization, but you could try and you could be a little creative like I was, in terms of how you're going to make your different scenes, whether it's just starting, you're just chatting like what you're seeing up now, you're in game, you're a little limited, but it's not difficult to work around, right? My mom always says you have to use what you have until you could use what you want, right? So when you get to that place and you want to upgrade to hardware, you can. It's not going to hurt. If you want to stick to what it is you're doing right now and save that money, you can. You have now another option. It's a free option, and if it is, you're still going to be able to save some money with regards to not streaming, to not buying actual hardware. You can upgrade and pay for the actual subscription service. I know they have usually a 7-day trial, a 14-day trial sometimes. Sometimes there are a lot of promo codes where you get stuff off, offers off, right? I remember purchasing one and getting it around Christmas time, actually. And then the most recent one I would have bought was when Street Fighter 6 would have dropped, and I did a console stream, and I found overlays and all these different things that almost 100% reflected the main menu for Street Fighter 6, and it looked amazing. It looked absolutely amazing. That was the paid service. That was the paid subscription, right? And it was for that month, and I got it for almost half off. And that plan that I took was like almost $8, 8 US, and I got it for like about 4 US. So that was a steal of a deal, and it had my streams looking really, really good for that point in time when I was streaming directly from the Xbox, right? So there's some pros, there's some cons, but I think if you look at the moniker that I'm looking, or the dynamic angle I'm looking at it from, using what you have until you could use what you want, this definitely works. I'm not trying to make it sound like this is a poor man's thing. No, I'm not trying to make it that. That's what it is. But there are a lot of creative ways to work around that, right? And this is just a simple example, right? So with that, guys, I think I am going to stop this multi-stream, right? And me personally, I prefer the higher resolution stuff, and I would have streamed the higher resolution stuff when I was first testing this. Not today's today was the first multi-stream test, but when I first tested this, I didn't even have all the stuff looking like this. I didn't have a proper theme. Yeah, it ran good. It looked amazing. For everybody that passed through looked at it, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it, right? And I looked at it back, and it was clean. Like, I had to stop and was like, this was so good. And just a brief personal thing to share. I have had so much difficulties in the past with regards to not having the right hardware, and it's always come down for me to the laptop or or what I was using to push the stream, basically. So I had an iMac, right, back in the day. Don't ask me the specs on it. I'm a music producer and song engineer first, right? So it was really good for that and nothing else, right? Obviously little things, watching movies and what have you, but streaming and doing all these things, and I didn't know how resource heavy stuff like Streamlabs OBS was. I started using it right away because I was a little lazy. I didn't want to really have to go and dig up and mess around with the internals of when you're setting up OBS, right? Which is minor, by the way, in hindsight, but at the time, I just wanted to be able to click go live, and it has stuff ready for me. I wanted to be able to download overlays and overlay packs and just press one button and it just integrates with everything. I don't have to go into it and look for this and look for that. They have everything set up there. You just take off what you don't want in terms of your borders, your cameras, your what have you, just not knowing that all these things were a bit resource heavy on the back end. And then I always wanted it to look a certain way, so I didn't want static overlays. I wanted overlays that move and dance, just like what you're seeing here with you just chatting and all these things. These things take resources, right? These things take resources, and with this, it's just really simple because the Xbox is not doing the heavy lifting. The laptop is not doing the heavy lifting. It's the internet side, the broadband side of it. There is some lifting to do, but because I'm not using an actual program or software to run this, it's all web-based. It's going to be on the minor side, right, in terms of the resources being used. The fan isn't even kicking up. My iMac fan used to be blazing, like it ready to take off and fly away, right? It didn't sound as bad as a PS4, but it wasn't good either, right? And I often started to get things talking about the memory low and stuff like that, right? So LightStream definitely has been a saver. All right, and then when I decided to move and life, and I gave up the studio actually where I was. Right, I built a studio and I moved away from there. Um, Having to come back here and then the iMac during the move. Was not working properly, so it's been down, and then to have a replacement, I mean, it wasn't the best in the stream being the heavy lifting, but it was doing its job. And then to find a replacement has been challenging, and then financially it's so this is a godsend. So to the heads of LightStream Studios, thank you. Big up to you all. And I'm really gonna try and push for console streamers, right? If I have to be the example and just be the best console streamer in the world, then that's what it's going to be in 2025. But this is a godsend and it's amazing. So for those who are on the fence, it's a good investment. Even if it is you want to upgrade and use the paid feature, right? That allows you a lot more customization and allows you to invite guests to co-host and play together and all these different things. You can, right? You definitely can, right? But if you want to go and just do it basic, it's also an option. It's not an issue at all. It's also an option. All right. So with that, I would say if we're gonna give it ratings out of 5 in terms of how good is it, rating out of 5, for me, I'll give it about a 4 out of 5. And in terms of the negative aspects, I'll say probably maybe 2 out of 5 in terms of its negativity. So we could weigh up that. All right. So I am definitely going to hop over in a little bit into some Marvel Rivals first, and then I will hop over into Apex and see what's the actual difference. Right? In terms of the multi-stream aspect of it, right? Because if you're streaming to one platform, which is Twitch, it's going to look good, no questions asked, right? So if that's the case and you have to take the long route right now and stream to just the one platform, which is Twitch, and then chop and edit your stuff and put it on TikTok and then upload it back into YouTube, that's just what it has to be right now. But it's better than nothing, right? At least you could have a quality console stream with quality setups, quality alerts, quality overlays, and camera borders and all these different things, and then you could distribute it where you need to. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to switch the games, so I'm gonna be right back. Yeah.
watching?
Introducing your champion.
I'm the jump master. I'll pick us a good perch.
I'm the jump master. The path to victory begins with me. Show no mercy. Mark my next location. Attention, round one. Ring countdown.
First fatality.
It's like my gun, but civilized.
We're all Arthur,
So,
one here.
prettier and colder.
An excellent selection.
Evo harvesters are now available. Attention, there is a new kill leader.
New kill leader. Surely you can take the title from them.
In progress.
Additional supplies here.
We're already inside the next ring. Time to find a good perch.
Attention, the champion has been eliminated.
The champion fell. They did not deserve the title.
Care package being delivered.
Care package. Sweet.
Attention, there is a new kill leader.
New kill leader. Not for long, pal. Time to bind you.
Evo Harvester here, team people. Another level means another upgrade means survival. This upgrade's gonna make killing everyone so much easier. found some prey.
Reloading.
Shattered the prey's shield. Reloading. Taking fire. My prey is down.
Impressive kill. Reloading.
Mark right there.
Hells yeah. Half the squads are toast.
Enemy there. Prey in sight. There.
Downed that one. Reloading.
Shattered the prey's shield. Firing.
Downed one. That's the last of them, amigos. Booyah!
Recharging shields.
Round 2. Beginning ring countdown. Replicator being delivered.
Replicator incoming. One more minute, amigo. Ring's right there. So close. So close.
Survey beacon over there. Prey in sight. Adjust your scopes. They're far.
45 seconds. But we could just walk it.
Some prey there. Shh. Prey over here. They look soft.
We have engaging. Reloading.
Prey spotted.
Yo, cracked an enemy shield. They're shooting at me. Arc Star. Reloading. Ring's closing. I like pushing limits as much as the next guy, but we gotta go. We're all over the map.
Mark is far with level 2
We've
shield.
got trouble.
It's a full squad team, people.
Taking fire. Down. Oh, we actually got hit.
Getting shot at.
Standing by for care package.
Die when I don't need you.
You do not deserve this, but I will. Face care ready. Over here. Throwing jump pad.
Getting shot at. Echo's got an angle. Moving there. Recharging shields.
Charging on my shields. Airstrike incoming. Oh
Un momento.
I shattered an enemy's shield. Opening fire.
Charging shields.
Reloading. I'm under fire.
Not feeling great. I should heal.
Healing. I'm down.
That's on. This way. Let's go.
Come on, compadre, get up. Come on, come on, come on.
Bins have been
Next ring's far.
Watch my back. I'm healing.
Getting health back.
Champion's out. Champion of what? Setting up the shield.
Engage! Reloading. One more minute, amigo. Ring's right there. So close. So close.
Over here. Follow me. Prey spotted. Level 2 shields on our prey there. It's a full squad, team people.
45 seconds till ring close, amigos. Don't let me carry you. Ring's around the corner and we've got 30 seconds.
Enemy
Real close. About time we got ourselves a fight.
Getting shot at.
They're shooting at me?
Reload. Down. That's on me.
Yo, grab it.
broken.
Care package over here.
Thanks. Oh, didn't rig it to shoot fire or anything. Cheap from ya.
Hey, this way sound good.
Warning, ring movement in progress.